This is alternative political analysis, and this video will be on the United States using depleted uranium in Syria. And they used 5,000 rounds of depleted uranium during March 2015. Now, just to remind ourselves how United States chemical weapons attacks have went in the past. Agent Orange, a dangerous chemical herbicide made by Monsanto, was used in the Vietnam War, and 4 million Vietnamese people were exposed to it. 3 million Vietnamese people suffered illness because of it, and it left 1 million Vietnamese people disabled. That's quite frankly disgusting. And this brings us on to the 67 nuclear tests in the Marshall Islands, and the United States paid an insulting $250 million in compensation, and it led to people in the Marshall Islands having jellyfish babies, and these are babies that were born without bones, and they all end up in infant mortality. And the Marshall Islands cancer rates were quadruple United States cancer rate, and that is according to the University of Hawaii. And between 1954 and 1958, or 1959, I beg your pardon, 1 in 3 births in the Marshall Islands resulted in infant mortality, and life expectancy in the Marshall Islands is 40 years old, and many small villages, the people in them stopped reproducing and died off. That's genocide. And this brings us on to depleted uranium being used in the neighbouring country to Syria, Iraq. And I'm going to read you some Iraqi cancer rates. In 1991, 40 out of 100,000 Iraqis had cancer. In 1995, that jumped to 800 out of 100,000 Iraqis had cancer. In 2005, it was 1,600 out of 100,000 Iraqis who had cancer, and 6 billion rounds of depleted uranium were dropped in the first 3 years of the second Iraq War, well, the second in recent memory. And the heart defect rate in Iraq is 13 times the heart defect rate in Europe, and the Iraqi birth defect rate is 33 times the birth defect rate in Europe. And in Fallujah between 2009 and 2011, over 700 babies were born with birth defects, and there was a 12-fold increase in children with cancer in Iraq since the Iraq War. And the child cancer rate in Iraq is 14 times higher than it is in Japan. Now, why is that relevant? Because it shows you the damage in relation to the barbarity at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I would recommend that viewers check out the Alternative Political Analysis YouTube channel, Facebook page, and blog for more interesting posts and videos.